I think, you know, the campaign last year was an emergency. It was an emergency. It was a need that was so urgent to protect children, and to protect children as young as 8 years old from facing abuse and exploitation. I mean, the risks of these children traveling into Iran are huge, you know, and we've heard stories of children traveling for 2 days with no food and water and ending up in Iran on their own and being rescued by War Child staff members at the border. You know, this is just an unimaginable, horrific journey that brings huge trauma, that, you know, unimaginable trauma to these children. And it can be prevented. And, you know, what happened here with this broken promise is just means that this enormous effort that was made by the British public in faith it has just been broken. And I think, you know, anything that can be done for us to have this conversation, just to be able to highlight how important this is, would be great. And that's what we've been asking for a good couple of weeks now.
That they've held that line so far. We talked to them privately for about 2.5 weeks, and they said they were unable to actually give us that money. We feel so strongly about it then that we started campaigning in public, which is not an easy decision for a charity to make. You know, you don't want to have to criticize your funder in public, but there is a bigger context that the UK has decided to cut its aid budget, and we have several grants with the UK government. All of them have been cut, which we kind of have to accept because they do have to save money. But this one is different because it was a really straightforward promise to members of the public that they would match the money. And, you know, when you have a 90-year-old woman who goes out every day in January in sub-zero temperatures to walk a certain distance in order to be sponsored to raise that money, and then the government says, oh, we have decided that we're not going to match it for another year. That's the kind of a promise that we really don't think should have been broken. And charities rely on trust. We have to have the trust of our public. So the next time we ask for money for an urgent project, they actually will take us at our word. And this undermines our whole relationship with our donors.
It's my privilege to work with War Child, and I've worked with them since 2014, and you know, it's been a complete privilege to be alongside and see the work that they do. And I believe in it really passionately. And I think, you know, the truth is this is potentially a life or death decision, you know, and that there are children who really, really will suffer if we don't have this program in place to protect them. And it just comes down to, like Rob said, you know, I have a friend who ran 10 marathons in 10 days and raised money for this cause. You know, we made this promise to the people that work with us that this would be an urgent project that would be met with their urgent giving, and it just feels wrong to go back on it.
Can we get this right in front? Carry one more? There we go. All right, so last stop here. Here we go.